Welcome back to another episode of the Spartan Scoreboard, the show where we take a look at what's happening in Northampton athletics. I'm your host, Jacob Schweitzer. It's been a quiet week for Spartan athletics. Most of the action is taking place this weekend after this recording is happening. What we know for sure is the women's volleyball team will play for a Region 19 championship after beating RCSJ Gloucester last Wednesday. Let's be real, I could have told you that already, but I'll give you the stats of the actual matchup. Lexi Womack led the way once again with 14 kills, while Grace Coppola and Kyra Miller added 5. Gianna Ciara and Emily Marcial added 8 digs each in the 3-0 sweep. In the other semifinal in Northampton's bracket, Raritan Valley took down Harrisburg in 5 sets, meaning the Region 19 title game will be between the Lions and the Spartans. By the time you're watching this, we will already know who the Region 19 champion is and who has punched their ticket to Iowa. Like I said last week, I already know too. I might have got the opponent wrong. It wasn't Harrisburg, but I'm so confident that Northampton is going to get it done. Only other piece of Spartan news this week comes out of the Region 19 soccer office, where it was announced that freshman midfielder Amir Rustam was named to the All-Region team. Rustam was the clear leader of this team this year, and he might be set to return for year 2 in 2026. Thanks to the quiet week that I mentioned, we're going to spend a little time today looking ahead at the future of Northampton athletics after we go back just a bit. Back in September, Athletic Director Troy Tucker announced the return of golf and cross country to the athletic department, beginning in the year 2026-27. Men's and women's teams will be offered, creating the 10th, 11th, 12th, and 13th intercollegiate sports at Northampton. Golf was last a sponsored sport in the spring of 2019, where the Spartans made the NJCAA National Tournament, finishing 9th. In 2014, former Spartan Jesse Bingaman was named a second-team All-American as well as the individual Region 19 champion, the only golfer in Spartan golf history to do either. Men's and women's cross country was last sponsored in the fall of 2017, and they had great success in the 4 years they competed. Most notably, women's cross country runner Meseret Hart won everything in the year 2015. She was the Region 19 and EPAC individual champion. She was the National Cross Country Athlete of the Week multiple times, undefeated in the 7 races she ran in, and the first national champion in Spartan history. And on the list of national champions in Northampton, she still stands alone as the only one. Given the prestige in this program that I just mentioned and its place in Spartan history, bringing it back will come with big-time expectations. Luckily, Troy Tucker has a great candidate to head up the program. Michael Badway, Northampton's manager of events, operations, and facilities, will take over starting next year. Not only does Badway do an excellent job within his role in the department, but he's also a former cross-country and track and field head coach at Keystone College. And with his experience comes a great deal of excitement for the program. I got to catch up with him last week for an interview. Let's go talk to him now. Coach Badway, thanks so much for joining me on the show. I know you were at Keystone College. When was the last time you had a season where you coached cross country?
The last cross country season that I coached was back in 2015.
Oh, wow, okay.
So
given that, it's been a decade more for you when 26, 27 rolls around, what kind of excitement is there to just get out there and coach a program again?
A load of excitement on my part. It's always been a passion of mine. Running has always been a great outlet for me, and whether it's been coaching or competing, I've always just loved being around the sport. So I'm really looking forward to getting back at it.
Absolutely. Can you emphasize just the importance of this program and its prestige and what it's done returning to Northampton? Why should Spartan fans be excited about it, as well as runners in the Lehigh Valley in high school who can end up coming here?
The prestige of the program, really, we've had national champion individually here in the past. We've had several championships here in the past as well, throughout the region. And we're looking to continue on with that success and build that success. I've built a program in the past from scratch with absolutely nothing around it, and I'm looking forward to accomplishing that goal again and bringing the program to the top like I did in the past.
Yeah. I'm going to add on to that, building a program from scratch. What does that take? Can you delve a little into what you plan to do here to get started?
A lot of recruiting, a lot of, hitting the road, visiting recruits, getting the word out that we have a program, that we're starting a program.
Absolutely.
A lot of the coaches know we used to have one and we cut it, and they want to know that we're going to keep it around if they're going to send their athletes there. And so, making sure that those coaches know that, yeah, I'm going to be here and that we're going to do things the right way here.
Yep. Understanding, like I just mentioned, the prestige, you mentioned former national champion here. What's the expectations for this program that you're going to put on them, as well as, the rest of the department? What are you hoping to get out of it?
So my goal for the first year is have a solid team that is competitive at every meet. So we have 5 runners that cross the line at every meet, where we are at least midway through the pack, halfway through the pack or higher at every meet.
Yeah.
And I think for a first year, if we hit that goal, we're on pace to what we need to do to be successful coming years 2 and 3, which is actually contend for a championship.
Mm-hmm. And when you go out on the recruiting trail, like you mentioned, delve a little into your pitch. What are you kind of telling them as far as what it means, what they're going to get out of the experience, as well as what's expected of them as athletes?
So recruiting to Northampton has been a new atmosphere to me.
Mm-hmm.
I came from a 4-year and now being here a 2-year. What I tell them is, what my plan for them is to help them, making sure that they get good grades, help them become better athletes.
Yep.
And help them get to a 4-year institution, so that they can move on with their collegiate career and, hopefully maybe possibly even earn a scholarship. So,
yeah,
focus on the grades, focus on becoming a little bit better of a runner, and help them move on to that next step of their life.
Absolutely. When Athletic Director Troy Tucker announced this and then he asked you about it, you said, I think Northampton has all the pieces to be a championship level program in the NJCAA. Are championships the expectation, whether it's year 1, year 2, year 10? Is that what you're hoping to get out of it, or is there a bigger picture?
There is a bigger picture, but as a coach, if you're not coaching to win a championship,
yeah,
you're in the wrong profession.
Yeah.
So championships are the expectation. The other big part for me is developing the person as a whole. Learning from what they've done in the past, and you could take a lot from what it takes to be a successful athlete and take it into your life and what it means to be a successful professional. And so building that person has really always been a core concept of mine as well.
Yeah. And last question for you, heading into this year, or next year, I should say, not to pit the other Northampton programs against each other, but why is your cross-country team going to be marquee? Why should people really be honed in on it in the fall of 26?
Why is my team going to be marquee? That's a great question. Because it's new, it's going to be exciting. It hasn't been around on campus for years.
Yep.
And it's a part of every sport. I know, it's a part of every sport. So I think that's a great part of it too.
Excellent. Thank you so much, Coach Badway. It was a pleasure.
Thank you very much.
Thanks again to Coach Badway. And I got to say, I envy the person who takes over this show next year, if anybody does. Spartan Athletics are going to be a fun ride to cover next year with the 4 additional sports joining the mix of the already illustrious athletic department. Now, let's cap it off as we always do with the upcoming schedule this week for the week of November 3rd. It's exclusively hardwood this week as the women's basketball team will begin their regular season on Thursday, traveling to RCSJ Cumberland. Then on Saturday, both men's and women's basketball will head to Passaic County, with Coach Gallagher's group going at noon and Coach McCarthy's group following them at 2. While it isn't a part of the action, today, November 3rd, the NJCAA will determine the official seeding for the Division III National Tournament. In fact, as you're watching this, it's probably already happened. You can check out where the Spartans landed as they plan for their trip to Ice. I'm going to break the fourth wall a little bit here. This Spartan Scoreboard is being recorded the Thursday before November 1st, meaning I don't know the results of any of the action that comes in this crazy weekend of Northampton sports. So next week's edition of this show is going to be packed with action as we talk about the women's volleyball team's Region 19 title. I'm very confident that that's going to be a talking point, and their road through the national tournament. We're also going to look at the results of the Northampton tip-off tournament and the results of the first men's wrestling action of the year. They compete in the East Stroudsburg Open on Sunday. The team had a late schedule release, so if any of you missed it, I apologize. We're going to give more attention to them this winter, I promise. But certainly, stay tuned for next week. It should be a ton of fun recapping the busy week in Spartan sports. But for now, I'm your host, Jacob Schweitzer, and as always, thank you for listening.